Welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year. So I've taken a slight break from uploading on YouTube. It's been like 2 weeks or so, but I'm excited to say that I'm going to be focusing more on quality this year. Last year in 2025, I focused on quantity. I was uploading shorts. I was uploading multiple videos a week. Some weeks it was 7 days a week, honestly, like 2 uploads and 5 shorts. But for 2026, I'm going to be focusing on quality and more personal videos. Starting with this one, I'm going to be talking about why you should get into the C8 platform in 2026. But let's go over to the filming location and then I'll continue from there. So we're at the filming location now, and I just wanted to talk about why I think the C8 platform is the platform to get into in 2026. The first thing I'm going to start off with, these are all my opinions, so if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. Take it with a grain of salt, but I do think these are valid opinions because I've been in a lot of different platforms, and I've been kind of leveling up the platforms that I've been in, and I have to say the C8 is the most impressive I have been in so far, which makes sense because it is the most expensive. What I'm gonna first talk about is that, especially in the used market, I don't think there's any platform that is as good as the C8 in the 60,000 to 70,000 range. Like I said, this is used because these cars do go for more than that brand new. But in the 60 to 70,000 range, I do believe that this is one of the, if not the best platforms to get into for 2026. What other car has a under 3-second 0 to 60 stock and just honestly has the same looks as a supercar and then also has a similar presence as supercars? I have to say that the C8 Corvette, exterior wise, especially the front end, is one of the best looking cars in the more modern day. I do think that with the Z06 and then now the ZR1, that exterior looks even crazier. Granted, we're not talking about that in the $60,000 to $80,000 range, but in general, I do think the C8 platform is one of the best platforms. And we're gonna get into my next point, which is gonna be that the upper trims and the upper models are starting to be more developed. Like for example, a few years back when the C8 Z06 just came out, you couldn't get that car for under 130 or under 140, and depending on the specs, sometimes it went up to 150. But now you're seeing these same Z06s, obviously they're used and they have some miles, but you can get one under 100,000 now, which is crazy because that is supercar performance, supercar sound, supercar looks for under 100,000, which you're not going to find that very often in other platforms. Granted, there are other platforms in the 100,000 range that may have similar performance, but I will say that the C8 Z06 is probably the best sounding platform for 120,000 or less, because the V8 sounds almost like a V12, and the high pitch has an F1 type of sound to it. Some people might not like it. Some people want the throatier, deeper V8 sound, but personally, I'd rather have a C8 Z06 over the Stingray. I mean, that's not going to be an unpopular opinion. That car is amazing, and it is the better version of this car. But yeah, like I said, the second reason to get into the C8 platform is that the upper models, like the Z06 and the ZR1, and then also the ZR1X, which is coming out soon, they're starting to be more developed and more accessible and obtainable. So 2026 and onward is probably going to be a good time to get into the market because there's going to be more used ones. I'm starting to see the ZR1 out in the wild now, which is really good. Honestly, the ZR1 is becoming one of my dream cars, and I can't even fathom how the ZR1X is going to be. But yeah, that's the second reason. So the first reason is that in the $60,000 to $80,000 range, I think this is one of the best performing cars with the looks and everything. And then the second reason, going back to what I just said, is that the upper models are starting to become more accessible and obtainable, and they are in the same line where they provide so much more performance and just everything than most of its competitors. And I know a lot of this is biased, or maybe all of it is biased, but I do think that this is the platform to get into. The last reason, which is going to be the most opinionated, is that the C8 platform is still the least saturated, in my opinion, for like the car scene and all that. Honestly, the BMW M scene has been super popular, and rightfully so. That platform is very good, and there's a lot of mods and just a lot of different ways you can go for the build. But I do still think that the C8 platform is untapped and not at its full potential, slash like there's not much content in terms of like the BMW M's and like the AMG and all those things. For social media or content creators, I do think this is a really good car to get into. It still has the uniqueness that you would want from, you know, a supercar or sports car. I know a lot of people hate when people say the C806 is a supercar. I'm undecided on that. I do think the ZR1 is for sure a supercar slash hypercar, but that aside, I do think this platform is still untapped, and I do think there's still much more that you can do with it. Honestly, if I do really like this car, I can see myself getting a Z06 of this generation. I mean, I would prefer a ZR1, but who knows what those prices are going to be like, you know, in the near future. But yeah, I do believe that the C8 platform is something to get into in 2026. I'm excited for what they're going to do with the ZR1, the ZR1X. Those are pretty much hypercars for a fraction of the hypercar price, because, you know, most cars with that kind of performance are in the $1 million range. Like, we're talking like Senna's, P1, 918 Spider. Those are in the $1 million plus range, and you're getting it for, theoretically, which is the market price, is like 280 to 300, but the price from factory is around like 250 or so, which is crazy because that's a quarter, if not even lesser, of the hypercar price tag. I'm really excited to see what the C8 platform brings in 2026 and onward. To be honest, I need side skirts for this bad, and I know I've been saying that in a lot of the videos, but it's been hectic, you know, year-end stuff, you know, you're celebrating holidays and all those things, so I never got around to getting the C8 side skirts, but I want the side skirts, and I want to get an exhaust really soon. I'm hoping that I can find a deal on an exhaust. I'm still shopping around, but to be honest, I don't really want to spend like $4 grand on a Borla, because in my opinion, it doesn't provide enough performance and sound for that price tag, so I'm still looking around. And then for the side skirts, because the car scrapes and it's pretty low, I don't really mind it being like cheap, but we'll see what I do. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick little video. Look forward to more quality uploads in 2026. I'm not going to upload as frequent, but I'm going to do my best to put more thought and just more intention with these videos, because I'm no longer going to be spamming the inbox and stuff like that. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm looking forward to 2026, and I hope everyone has a great start to the year.